Hello, everyone. Hello, Trevor. Carol, how the hell are you? Whoop, get baby girl cooked up. There you go, baby.
Hey, Haney.
Robin.
Hey, Trevor.
Fourth, very nice. Very nice. Sherry, what's up, girl? What's up? As you guys can see, it is National, what up, DB? Nelson McClintock, Brittany. It's chocolate day. It's chocolate day. You chocolate swilling fools. Now, my wife does not necessarily like the chocolate, but I sure do.
Not a fan.
Jason, Dan, Don, Mike, Richard. Hello, Tracy, Steve, the Iceberg, Ricky, Ruth Carter. Hello. Maria D'Souza. All right, Joshua. Look at all the beautiful people just filtering in as if I was the Pied Piper of beautiful people.
You are kind of.
I am. I kind of am.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Sugar Plum, you ready to go live?
I think so. I think I've maybe made it.
We have a funny story to lead things off for you right now. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sigler in Place on this day. Wait, what day is it?
It is National Chocolate Day. It's
October 29th.
Oh, yes. It's also National Cat Day.
National Cat Day.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple, 2, 3 fun cats in our.
Dawn, you are excommunicated from the tribe if you don't like chocolate. Sorry.
No, you're not. You're just part of the. You're part of the upper echelon with me.
Oh, I see how it is. So right off the bat, you guys, A has a funny story to tell you about why her eyes might be a little red.
Y'all, now listen. You guys know me. You know that I
Oh, I got you, babe.
I can't reach that far right now. You know that I am kind of willing to try anything once kind of a gal. Everything else, you know that I have been very honest with you guys a couple times since SIGLERinPLACE started and showed up either crying or ready to cry because of things happened. Yeah.
Head, shoulder, whatever. She muscles her way through it, you know.
Deaths, sadness, all that stuff. Today, I almost showed up completely like red-faced, crying, swollen eyes. And it has literally nothing to do with anything except what an idiot I am.
Tell him.
So, this is going to be a little convoluted, but bear with me. I formed a garden for the very first time ever this year because we're locked at home. And so I made an herb garden and a little vegetable garden. And I grew jalapenos because my husband enjoys jalapenos.
A lot of them bad boys, you know.
And I don't know what to do with them all because they're too hot for me to eat. I was hoping they'd be mild, but they're not. And I just can't eat them. So that means we have zillions. Then I watched Lizzo make vegan jalapeno poppers.
Everybody
on her
likes
TikTok.
to watch Lizzo do anything she
on
wants
her
to do.
TikTok, she made them and she put on plastic gloves, 2 plastic gloves on each hand, or rubber gloves, nitrile gloves, and cut up her jalapenos and enjoyed vegan jalapeno poppers. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to cut up all my jalapenos. That'll be just fine. And I did it in the last hour. And then I took off my gloves and I smelled my hands and I tasted my hands and it was fine. And then about 15 minutes ago, I put in my contacts. And it was not fine.
No. Why wasn't it fine, baby?
Because Lizzo apparently doesn't wear contacts or something. I don't know. But my eyes, I was like, my face was all red. My eyes were all, it was tragedy, you people. All I'm saying is, if you're going to cut jalapenos, rubber gloves or no, start by putting on contacts first. But so I look a little verklempt. I sound a little verklempt because it's all up in my business.
She came walking in the room like, I may have made a mistake.
And he's like, what's wrong? Nothing is wrong today.
Of course, had my interest. Like, while I was watching Lizzo, I'm like, tell me more. So,
Lord sakes, you guys, sakes alive.
Yeah, so A has fingers full of jalapeno.
But I was wearing 2 layers of rubber gloves, and I smelled and tasted,
rascals.
And it was fine. But apparently, teeny tiny bits of stuff got in. So, and yeah, my brother makes a very good point. He says also before you cut jalapenos, go pee first.
Good call.
Good call.
So this could be. I think this might be the first time ever we've had something bad to say about Lizzo. Because of this,
I still love her and her.
Issue.
She needs tempo. I love a girl who needs tempo.
That song is so sexy. My God, dude, it's so good. All right, let's see. We have, first of all, we've got one hell of a show for you today. It's possibly the greatest piece of entertainment that the world has ever seen. That's how good it is. But we're going to talk a little bit about which we are not drinking tonight because we're worn out. The Siglocktail. Let's talk about Siglock. Tell them what the Siglocktail was, baby.
The Siglocktail, as you guys know, if any of you are drinking it, as the tequila oasis. I am still have a little bit of a broken wing. I am feeling a lot better than I was on Tuesday, but I am not anywhere near back to fully functioning. So I did not do the all the shaking, which you can see in the video. I do a lot of shaking.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I didn't do that because I'm right-handed. So we are drinking. I'm still drinking my Montepulciano, and he's drinking his favorite scotch.
I'm going straight up scotch. Election's coming soon, going the straight up scotch. And this video that you see right down here, A does these videos every single Monday. She posts a video on YouTube. What is your YouTube page, babe?
It's AB Sigler.
youtube.com/absigler or over at scottsigler.com, and she walks you through making the drink we're going to have in Sigler in Place. It's lovely. These are pretty straightforward, easy to do cocktails, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I will tell you, next week starts the new month, and we're going to be doing whiskey drinks. Hopefully, if you're a whiskey drinker, you already have some in the house. We're going to be making very classic cocktails. There are weirdly a ton of very specific whiskey cocktails, and so we're going to definitely be making like an old fashioned and a Manhattan and a Sazerac and maybe a Vieux Carré, maybe like things like that. So if you get a good, if you don't have any whiskey, get a good whiskey and or a good rye, or both would be great. But we're going to make a handful of very classic drinks, so that would be good.
Chris asks, are there any GFL updates? Yes, there
are.
What? Guess who has 2 thumbs and just finished recording the GFL audiobook? This guy right here. Yes, so the GFL audiobook is recorded. Steve the Iceberg, Ricky Berg, is editing it right now. We do not know how long that will take because editing a GFL audiobook takes a gosh darn long time. But now that the audiobook is done, because that's the last pass on the manuscript, because I like to go through and make sure it's as natural language as possible. So, for example, if I have a sentence written and when I read it, I screw up the sentence like 3 times, reading it a different way than it's written. I'm like, okay, the tongue naturally wants to do it that way. So now that that's done, now it goes on to ebook and layout. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, we have one more little step to do. We dialed in. There's a weird thing. We'll probably have an episode, Sigler in Place episode, all about this not too long from now. But there's a handful of weird things if your engineer is fantastic but isn't co-located with you, which is the situation we have with the Iceberg. Of course, Steve lives close to us in LA County, but not close enough to come check out our rig during a pandemic. And so the first day we had dialed in with Steve, but the only way Steve can judge and the only way we can judge final audio is to have final audio. So once the day was done, it turned out that maybe we need a little adjustment to our settings and stuff. So we may have another thing to do, but that's only part of it.
And then, as Steve points out, the Audible approval process it takes time for Steve to do it, to get all the editing right. It takes time for Audible approval. So we literally cannot give you a release date until it's up. And Audible's weird. Once we upload it to Audible, they review it. Once they reviewed it, it just goes live.
Yeah,
is that
and
right?
So we have we're
Fitzroy update coming up.
Long time enough audio Audible ACX contributors, and Scott's successful enough with enough books, with enough readers, with enough follow through, with enough completion that we now have a contact at what's called the ACX Entrepreneur Desk. So I actually reached out to her today and said, cool, we're getting ready for this. What can we do? Is there anything we can do? Because holidays are coming, and that means every time holidays are coming at every platform, they do their they focus on sales and not on uploading new stuff. So they give you a deadline. Like, if you want this published in December, you have to have it in by November 17th. So I hope to find that tomorrow, and then we'll know for sure the next time we come on whether or not we'll have the audiobook this year. But we'd have to be able to meet that deadline, which are longer than normal at the holidays because they focus on sales.
And now we have a Mount Fitzroy update for your face.
That
update is, there is an update coming very soon about the Mount Fitzroy. I believe possibly
excuse me.
That's all right. We will have some hard news for you on a week from today. Whatever that November is.
You mean solid, real, dependable news.
We might have.
Not hard to hear. Not difficult.
Oh,
to
yes.
hear.
Yes. It's all kinds.
We have good news
It's
coming
real
hopefully
hard.
next Thursday.
It's real hard. It's turgid and swollen, and now it's also hard. We may have real, actual, actionable news for you this coming Thursday. So make sure you tune in a week from today, because Tuesday, November 3rd, there will be no episode. A and I will be
Crying into our beer.
sheltering in place. One way or another, however the American election goes, we're going to be drunk off our butts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And I will be a politics junkie all night long, watching all the news, and we would be of no use to you on November 3rd. So plan accordingly. And remember, Tuesday, November 3rd, that's the voting day. What else is coming on this? We're going to be doing junkie questions on this episode. We've got pup dates, including junkie pets and cats. I mean, what are you going to do? We have a
Lord
delightful,
sakes, you guys, I'm so sorry.
a delightful headline of the week that involves non-human mammalian kidnapping and enslavement. So you got that going for you.
Which is nice.
It's National Chocolate Day, and we have coming up this weekend our first ever guest on the live stream. We are going to be doing for Halloween. A and I are dressing up in costumes that have to be sourced in-house. So the costume has to be something we already have, because we take the lockdown very seriously. We take COVID very seriously. Masks, all that crazy stuff. So on Halloween, we're going to do a story smack about another isolation situation. The isolation at the Overlook Hotel, the movie known as The Shining. We're going to have our first ever guest on the show. That is Rob Otto, the Empty Set movie maven. Rob is going to drop some knowledge bombs about The Shining, and we're going to give that a try, and it's going to be fun.
Well, I'm so excited. This, in case you guys haven't, I hesitate to say this, but if you haven't seen this movie, this is the first time I'll say it. If you can watch it before before Saturday, I would do that. If you've seen it, but it's been a long time, I would watch it again. Rob Otto, who will be joining us, and I are both long time movie buffs, and The Shining is one of the most talked about, nuanced, secret Easter eggs, all the things you ever wanted to love about a movie now that you have the internet at your fingertips. And if you're a person who can't handle scary movies, I will say this is sort of a little psychologically scary. And
it's goddamn scary.
Yes, and there are some very huge set pieces. You just saw a couple of them that are very dramatic and very scary, but like that one. But there's not a ton that you haven't seen 10,000 times before on the internet, I think.
And did you know that the director's all about the number 2?
Kubrick?
Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, wow.
And as Rob Otto points out, this is the 40th anniversary of The Shining. We're going to have us a good time. So tune in, watch it with us. It should be fun. If you source a Halloween costume from stuff you have in the house,
including Halloween costumes. A lot of people have asked that question.
Okay.
If you already have
Just
one in
send
the
us the
house,
picture.
that's okay. Just send us the picture.
Send the picture to info@emptyset. That'd be great. And then we'll put them up. Nelson points out it's a $4 rental on Amazon. The Shining is.
Yep.
Andrea Miner says some people hate Stephen King. Yes, and some people hate Scott Sigler. There's two. I think they're from somewhere in West Texas, I believe it is. But they think.
Listen, I think there's 2 in the next room when you don't give them rawhides on time. They're very fickle.
As authors can't please everybody all the time. Old school Stephen King stuff absolutely stands the test of time. It's fantastic. I'm not as crazy about the newer stuff, but he is a huge influence on my work, so I'm not going to badmouth Mr. Stephen King.
This is definitely something that we'll probably talk about on Saturday. Every once in a while, you get a movie that elevates the original material in a unique and special way. And I honestly believe that Kubrick did that with The Shining. If you didn't love Stephen King, you may still love The Shining because Kubrick loved it probably unhealthily.
Yeah. Beth, we are going Sigler Press costumes. Of course, those are always welcome every time.
Especially for you.
You guys, we are on episode number 38 of Nocturnal. This Sunday, we drop episode number 39. It all ends at episode number 40. You got to go get that good stuff, and that goes away forever. But you know what? You should just subscribe. Go to scottsigler.com/subscribe. Get my voice crammed into your ear hole every gosh darn Sunday. It's going to be good. And that means we have coming up the Nocturnal Q&A episode, which is going to be live streamed on,
November 12th.
November live stream. SIGLERinPLACE live stream November 12th is going to be the Nocturnal Q&A. So if you're watching this now, if you have a question for us or a comment about Nocturnal, go ahead and send that to info@emptyset.com.
Mm-hmm.
You may send it as just a regular email, in which A will read it. I will respond to it live. You may send it as an MP3, and that's fine too. We'll play it live. Or you may send vertical cell phone video, audio, video both, 20 seconds or less. Don't get crazy with the editing. Just record a simple question, send it to us because we're going to be backed up. We usually have 30 to 40 questions, so we cannot spend a lot of time dinking around with all kinds of stuff.
And if you send a 5-minute video and you want us to pick out 20 seconds for I'm not going to do that either.
Nope.
Just got to be short. And Beth, I wasn't saying you should dress up as me. I was just saying you're good at the costumes. But I appreciate the clarification. Woo! I would never. Woo! Now I'm red because I'm
Baby
embarrassed.
Baby girl, we got some SIGLErations.
Oh, we do.
What's the first one?
Well, I might survive this whole Lizzo jalapeno thing would definitely survive.
jalapeno incident of 2020.
Whew. Okay, so Sherry Hare is in the chat room tonight. Sherry Hare on Saturday, on Halloween, will have been at her job for 15 years, which is an accomplishment for anybody really anymore these days. But she also has a particularly important and lovely job, and she is part of the preliminary screening and testing to make sure that organ transplants and donations are viable. And so she does important work too. So congratulations, Sherry. That's huge and important. And sorry, jalapenos. And we're really proud of you and proud to know you. Yeah, she said when she sent the email in that she does testing for organ and bone marrow transplants. And so Ancestor naturally has a special place in her, quote, that ain't no fucking cow, unquote.
Ain't no fucking cow. If you've got a SIGLERbration, we do.
We have one more.
Oh, do. Hit me, baby.
For a friend of yours and Rob Otto's.
Yeah.
Stephanie
Savinkov. Dude, don't do jalapeno stuff and watch Lizzo at the same time.
For sakes, you guys. Stephanie Savinkov, I know and love her and her husband Jim. Her husband Jim told me yesterday that Saturday is her birthday, and it's a milestone birthday. She did not tell me, so I'm not going to tell you which milestone birthday, but it's a big birthday for her. We love you. Congratulations. And I hope you get everything you want in that weird pandemic birthday.
Speaking of organ transplant, I'm going to tell a quick side story that involves that Mr. Rob Otto, Empty Set movie maven, is very familiar with, and Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, in the room is very familiar with. I'm going to paraphrase this as best I can because this happened many years ago. We were high schoolers, and we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, which we did a lot of, or Champions was another big one. The superhero role-playing game. It was wonderful. And we are at Rob's house, and Rob's mom, I think Rob's, would you call an oops baby? He was a little later. He was the youngest of like 17 children. So there was a lot of children going on. And his mom had experienced, I don't know if it was Great Depression as a little kid or whatever, but anyway, she was a bit of a pack rat. She saved everything. She worked at the hospital, and they would put pill medication for the patients in these Ziploc bags, and they'd write the patient's name on them. Of course, after the patient left, these perfectly good Ziploc bags were there. So Rob's mom was like, well, I'm taking these home. I'm going to use them, not letting this go to waste. Very smart. So we're playing D&D one day at Rob Otto's kitchen table, and we were all voracious teenage boys. So when you went over to somebody's house, we never asked permission. Just open up the fridge, see what's there, you eat it. Open up the freezer, see what's there, you cook it. You go crazy. So like 11 of us playing D&D, and our friend Jeff Rappletree opens up the freezer, being nosy, it's none of his business, looks in there, and he's like, Rob, why do you have Franklin Johnson's liver in your refrigerator? We look it up, and there's like a frozen block of raw meat that looks like a liver that says like Frank Johnson on it. And it was very interesting for Rob to try and explain that his parents were not prepper cannibals.
We are going to head back to the SIGLErations for a moment to say thank you to Bruce Press. He says he can't stay tonight. He's just coming in to say hi because he is a volunteer poll worker tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for your service. This is the thing that we need.
Congratulations. Now, what we've got for you guys right now is nothing better than wait a minute, hold on. I got to go into studio mode for a second.
If you are going to be in a situation where you get on, the internet live, I would suggest not working with jalapenos in the 25 minutes before you get live, because Your body does crazy ass things as it's recovering from a jalapeno infestation.
And we have the cure for your jalapeno infestation,
Look
which
at
is
those
nothing
good puppies.
a pup date.
Oh, it's a pup
I
date.
will give a GFL spoiler right now.
Oh,
A GFL spoiler.
yes.
So I have yet to get the one on the right, which is what the fuck is my dog's name?
Reese the Piece.
God damn, I was gonna say Mookie, and that's my old dog's name. This is Reese the Piece on the right. On the
Reese
left,
Pieces.
on the left is Squeaks McGeeks, and Squeaks McGeeks is now in a Sigler book. That is a process. Every dog I have goes into a Sigler book. Mookie, of course, was the star of Ancestor, and Emma has been in a book. And now Squeaks McGeeks, I will not tell you where, but Squeaks McGeeks is in GFL Book 6. The Gangster. Pay attention to that color of her harness, because that comes that factors in. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yes,
this isn't
yes,
about
sir.
our perfect, beautiful pups who are tied for number
It
one
sure
for the best
is
pup in the world.
not.
Today is about other
So today,
people's
as I
pups.
mentioned, it's also National Cat Day, and it's, a couple days before Halloween. So this one is Caddy Kruger.
Caddy
This is
Kruger.
Emily McGregor's kitty cat, obviously dressed as Freddy Krueger for Halloween. I, for one, absolutely welcome this horrible quote-unquote nightmare. I would love to have that in my house. How adorable. What a sweet kitty cat.
And then
Oh, come on now. Okay, so on Tuesday, we showed the Vertitaruses have a daughter. Annadelle, I believe is how you pronounce her name, but you only told me that today, so I'm not quite sure. And Annadelle and Conlin is her partner, and we saw their dogs on Tuesday, and these are their cats. This one is Archer. He's all set up for Halloween. He's stinking adorable. Look at those golden
very
eyes.
cutie. What a cutie patootie.
And the next one, this is Cricket. And Cricket is my kind of cat. As I've said 1,000 times, Squeaky is my first dog. Not for lack of trying, but she's my first dog. I have had cats my entire life. And my folks had a couple of dogs here and there, but cats were really my vibe. And this cat, I know everything I need to know about this cat. He's up for anything. He's also cool as a cucumber. He'll just lay there cuddled up in his blankets until somebody needs a paw to the head. And then I'll go back and lay and watch, Johnny Carson. Or well, I guess
Chilling.
it's not Johnny Carson anymore.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Here we go. And
Oh, come on. Is this the smartest pup you've ever seen in your whole life? This is Tika. This Smorg is in the chat room. This is Smorg's dog, current lovely, lucky to be with her dog. And
What
he
a
seems
cutie.
very
Come on.
erudite and very smart. And also a little like Harry Potter, I'm not going to lie.
I believe that erudite is a key word for smart, because if you have to say, what does erudite mean? You are not erudite. Is that right? Also, I'm
Tekka already
pronouncing
knew.
erudite, which further signifies that you're a very important science fiction author, your favorite very important science fiction author, writing about many very important social
With
issues.
many leather-bound books.
Can't pronounces it
Erudite.
erudite.
There was one when we were recording, there was one thing that Laden. How do you say that?
Laden.
Yes. So this was one because I was like, that seems correct, but it is not right.
No, it's Laden.
Yeah, it's not.
It's Laden. We're all going to get Laden. It's going to be great. And next is...
Oh, this sweet pup with that sweet stuffy. This is Dakota. Dakota, this is a pup memorial. Dakota is no longer with us.
Come on.
As a reminder,
on.
if you have a BFF who is watching you from another plane and you want to celebrate that BFF, we can do that too. This is a pup memorial, and that Dakota is a very, very, very good dog. Also belonged to Smorg and her family.
Lovely, lovely, lovely Peanut. And now, who is this?
This is also a Halloween costume. Robin Taylor in the chat room tonight. Robin Taylor owns Dolly Parton. This is Dolly Parton. And this is her dressed as a Beanie Baby for Halloween.
That's fabulous.
I'm super mad. Robin used to live in San Diego. She is in the Navy, as you guys know, and she got reassigned. She has a new tour, and she's no longer living in San Diego. And I never got to meet Dolly Parton, but I would have loved to.
Bummer. And our final cat.
Yeah, it's a triple threat here.
Okay.
These are the Baker Peril's cats. Danny is in the chat, or Daniel Baker's in the chat room
I have
now.
seen these cats in person in real life.
Going clockwise from 8 o'clock, it is Lucy, Sadie, and that big pillow hogging gorgeous gorgeous cat is Squiggly, Ms. Squiggly. I love her so much. I hung out with her last year. No, the year before. No, last year.
Baby, you're asking the wrong guy about time. I don't know shit.
She's so cute, so loving, and she sits on Daniel Baker's lap every morning to share his breakfast, which I crazy love.
See, when you see things out of context, over in the chat room, Danny Baker just said they give me poops. He's referring to beans. That comes up when the cats are up. So apparently Daniel Baker's cats give him the poops.
Well,
I'm going to draw that conclusion. I'm going to draw that inference. That is the inference to which I am drawing. That is, now, if you guys want to share pictures of your wonderful pets, you may send those to info@emptyset.com. Eventually, we will roll on through that beautiful bean footage, and you will get to see your cats. And
also, if you have Halloween costumes this weekend for you, for your pets, for your kids, for whatever, that you are willing to have us share on Thursday, we can do that too.
Oh,
so
Smorg says Dakota made it 13 years, which for a dog of that size is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
she was a big lucky girl that she got to spend 13 years with you guys.
13 years. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time. It is time for, let me see if I have this set up right. There is going to be 2 songs for you sung tonight. Mm-hmm. The first one is Headlines of the Week. We've got some interesting news. Get goes with the bruise. Turn it off if you choose not to listen. Okay.
And turn on the blues.
Turn on the blues. I'm taking a poos.
Nope.
No?
Nope, not the last one. We were so close. We were so close, you guys.
All right. Guys, let me get this queued up. I am effing delighted. We posted this, of course, over at facebook.com/ScottSigler. If you're not signed up there, get on it. Naked mole rats kidnap each other's babies and turn them into slaves. Now, normally, slavery is not a humoristic, humor-filled topic.
Isn't funny.
It's not funny. I'm the writer. She nailed it right there. But when you're talking about naked mole rats,
Andrea's all poos.
This is bonkers. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the naked mole rat, specifically because it was such a huge influence on Nocturnal. So we're in the midst of finishing up the Nocturnal throwback. So this is very timely and contextual. But this stuff is effing bonkers, you guys. And I downloaded a little bit of video to play for you as I read you information about one of the literally ugliest creatures on Earth. There's no getting around it. That is nasty. That's nasty, Eddie baby. That's just nasty. Naked mole rats have a lot of amazing abilities. Let's turn this off and turn this on. And then we go here. I'm still getting the hang of this. There we go. They can resist. They're very cancer-proof, apparently, which I don't know about. They defy the usual mammalian aging process. They can survive 20 minutes without oxygen. These freaks of the animal kingdom. They can tolerate surprisingly high levels of pain. I don't know how you judge that. It's not like they can tell you what they're tolerating.
If they had hair, would they be redheaded? Because
they probably would. They have jaw muscles that make up one quarter of their mass is jaw muscles, and they have teeth that jut out over closed lips so that they can dig without swallowing dirt. But here we go. Now I'm going to go into my announcer voice. But it turns out these highly social freaks of nature have a nasty little secret that makes them more supervillain than superhero. Naked mole rats kidnap each other's babies and turn them into slaves. Naked mole rats, which get up to 4 inches long. Oh, yeah. That's not girth, but we'll go with it.
Tiny.
They are cooperative colonies. There's a queen, there are workers, there are soldiers. Colonies can have a staggering 300 workers, largest known colonies amongst mammals. Only one queen gets to produce. Apparently, she claims her throne through a murderous battle for dominance, which is a good name for an album. Murderous battle for dominance. She can give birth up to 30 pups per litter and this is the best, convinces subordinate female subjects to babysit by feeding them what?
Poop?
Her hormone-laced poop.
Damn it. Damn it.
Hormone laced number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn
Biologist
it.
Stan Broad from Washington University was part of a long-term study in Kenya. They found 26 colonies that were expanding their burrows into neighboring colonies. You know, this is not a welcome wagon type thing. Individuals from 13 of the invaded colonies were never seen from again, so there's a lot of straight, brutal animal murder. After a year of checking one of these colonies, they found 2 pups in an invading colony, looked to have been from an invaded colony, but the team wasn't sure if it was a mistake. Quote, we just didn't have the tools to make sure he hadn't actually screwed up, Broad said. They did genetic analysis, lineage of the pups. The 2 were actually kidnapped and forced to become non-reproductive workers. Broad quotes, quote, hence their life effort would be categorized as slavery in the same sense as slave-making ants. Well, let's go back and talk about how the impact this has on Nocturnal.
Well, first, can I say, if you've never seen a colony, if there's I know you can't go now, but if there's a zoo near you that has a naked mole rat colony, they're amazing. And the San Diego Zoo has one, and they're almost always built in essentially a clear enclosure. Mm-hmm. So eventually the mole rats will build pathways to the edge, and so they get a little light or whatever. And so you can see them crawling around, and they're amazing. They really are amazing, and apparently kind of look like fingers.
I was going to say they look like a wrinkly wiener with teeth, but you go with fingers. That's fine. You can say that too.
I mean, neither wieners or teeth, or wieners or fingers have teeth, but that's all I have to say about that. That's all I have to say about that.
So this is how it pertains to my fiction and how it helped influence the world of Nocturnal. When I started researching Nocturnal, I didn't know the naked mole rat existed, at least not the life cycle of the naked mole rat. And they are a eusocial mammalian species, one of only 2, I believe, and the other kind is another kind of mole rat. And then, of course, you're familiar with bees, termites, ants, etc. Those have a breeding queen, and the rest of the females are either infertile or they are young and ready to come up and claim their place as the queen. I thought, wouldn't it be cool to write a story where, spoiler alert, humans have a variant where they are eusocial. So there's a breeding queen, like a termite queen, like an ant queen. And then I learned about the naked mole rat. I also learned about snapping shrimp and neon shrimp, which are crustaceans that also fall into this eusocial category. Just one breeding female who's in charge of everything, and everybody else revolves around her. And once I learned about the naked mole rat and found out there were actual mammals that could follow this, it helped influence and form the story that Nocturnal would become. So again, massive spoiler alerts. If you're listening to Nocturnal Throwback or you've read the original book, listen to the original audiobook, in Nocturnal we have a queen, that's mommy, and then we have workers, and we have warriors, and we have a couple other genotypes that you haven't seen yet that if I ever get to write the sequel, you will see. But I've got, 2 sequels planned and a prequel planned, which I don't know that I'll ever get to. But the Gantt chart for the Nocturnals is just bonkers, because you go from, no, not Gantt chart, sorry. What's the one? The square, Punnett square.
Punnett square.
The Punnett square. When you go the Punnett square of X, Y, and XX, you get those 4 possibilities. When you go the Punnett square of X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z, the numbers really start to add up. And as a creator, I'm like, well, I have to define what all of these combinations are. We have a full 9 square Punnett square. We've explained all the combinations. They're all different. There is some. I'm gonna throw $1 into the swear jar. Ready?
That's okay.
There is some fucked up shit in the Nocturnal sequels. It's even I have to be like, who wrote this? This person's got to be messed up. So that I just thought that was so cool that the story came up at this time, because it's really. I'm gonna go back to headline of the week. This is basically one of the main genesis of Nocturnal, which many of you have read. It's very cool, very ugly, and there you go. That is our headline of the week. We have other headlines of the week coming up next week. We may do this one. Hold on.
Apparently we're doing it now.
We're not going to do it now. I'm just going to share with everybody the
do it now.
Share with everybody the headline of the week. There we go. Sight Plus Us. This one This is first-class TV, you guys. Our internet connection is not connecting. Apparently, there's a 16-year-old fish that had a 16-year birthday party, and the fish was lonely because the fish ate all the other fish in the enclosure. So they threw this fish a party. Oh, for God's sakes, Facebook. Why has Facebook always got to let me down? Always got to let me down, the Facebook. Hold on. There's us live. That's meta. That's very meta. That's me scrolling through Facebook, trying to get Facebook to work on Facebook Live, which is also on Facebook.
And it's giving you...
There it is again. What is happening?
Oh, wait.
Okay, you know what? Goodbye.
Hey,
we're bailing on Scott Siegler. Let's go back to me.
I think it was giving you auto-generated captions, too.
I can't handle that much meta. Where are we at on this crazy script?
We're at our sponsor.
Oh, we are at our sponsor. Let's go.
As you guys know, we do once a week. We focus on a charitable organization. We call them the sponsor. Technically speaking, we're not taking any advertising, and we donate to every organization that we feature. If you are not in a position to donate, you can absolutely share this information as well. But if you can donate, that would be great. The Wildland Firefighters Foundation, they focus on helping the firefighters, the people who have to go, because firefighting is almost always either a part-time job or a volunteer job for much of the crew. Not all of the crew, of course, but much of the crew. And if there's more fires, as there has been this year, as there has been every year, this helps. The Wildland Firefighters Foundation's main focus is to help families of the firefighters who lose their lives fighting fires. And they have programs for kids, they have programs for adults, they have programs for making sure funeral costs are taken care of. And we have a new crop of fires in the United States right now. I know this crazy year started with devastating wildfires in Australia. So you don't often think about that unless you've been affected by fire yourself or an emergency that firefighters have to respond to. When I was 8 years old, the ceiling fell in my bedroom. My brother and I shared a bedroom, and the ceiling fell in. We could see the sky, and firefighters had to come dig us out. And, that was an easy thing for them because they knew that they weren't going to get hurt probably. And we were both fine, actually. I slept through it, as it happens. But they do a lot of things that you only notice when you're in the line, forgive me for saying it, but in the line of fire. So we would like to honor them. We're going to make a donation for them this week. This is
Whoa, sorry guys. Let's just bail on that.
That was the memorial page, of course. With
here's my uncomfortable laugh. We're looking at all these brave people, men and women who died in the line of duty. I'm like, it's awkward. I don't know what to do. I'm going to laugh.
If you'd like, I can put my jalapeno fingers in your eyes.
I thought you were going to say something else very close to that. And I was like, no, thank you. No,
also not.
That does not sound like a positive win.
Emily McGregor, you say you're a daughter of a firefighter, and so you can appreciate what a family goes through, and I'm sure it isn't at all safe or pretty. So if you can share this organization or contribute to this organization, we would encourage you to do so. If you're not a U.S. citizen, I haven't done the research. I normally do, but it's been a busy week with the audiobook recording. I'm sure there is a foundation like that in your country that you can donate to if you choose to.
So you can go to wffoundation.org. You see that right at the bottom of your screen. There's a donate button. Just learn more information. Any way to contribute. These are the people, these are the people who do the real work. A lot of people doing a lot of real work out there.
Yeah.
And we give so much credence and attention to entertainers, myself included. Yeah. But these people are just effing gangsters. Straight up gangsters.
You say it in an interesting way a lot on book tours. When there were book tours, he used to say, people would say like, okay, so what does your day look like? And he would always start the same way. Look. We have the best job in the world, right? Like, I don't get up. I get up, go to work. Nobody's ever shooting at me. Nobody's ever threatening me.
Never on fire.
Never on fire.
No.
And that's kind of the thing here, that kind of idea.
I'm almost never being bit by animals. Almost.
Almost.
Although that little dog tagged me on the ear yesterday.
Oh, Squeaky did. Yeah.
I sit down to tie my shoes to go out and take the dogs for a walk, and she's all excited. So I'm sitting on a kind of a foot locker at the foot of the bed. She's on the bed. And she then puts her paws on my back, which of course I think is adorable. I'm like tying my shoes. She's got her back feet on the bed, her front feet on my shoulders. And, oh, how cute is this? And she just reached down and got so excited. She's bit my ear. Like, God, I'm so excited. And she bit my ear. And I was like, oh, you son of, I could throw you through the window, you dirty, rotten son of a bitch. You know what time it is now, baby?
I do not.
It's time for me to sing again. Do you know what that means? Yeah, that's right. Questions. We've got questions. Answer the goddamn question. Officer, answer the question. Why is she wearing so many undershirts? We don't know. It's a question of mine that I don't think will get answered. That's a nice mullet. Can you guys buy me that hat? All right, there we go. Now we are moving on to our questions. Babe?
All righty. So the first question comes from Scott Pond. I don't think Scott Pond is here tonight, but he is, of course, our in-house graphic designer at Empty Set. He creates all of the paperback book covers, including 1,000 other things. He does 1,000 other things as well.
Yep. He
says, have you ever thought about creating a character that keeps coming back after dying, but who gets more and more pissed about it each time?
I actually have thought about that. I am sure other authors have done this, and I haven't done it yet. But we actually... two things to answer. One is kind of a 9 lives type situation, and where a character comes back but has a limited number of lives. And I know other people have done this. I just haven't come across it yet. And the tension kind of ramps up. I don't like stories where the author or screenwriter gets all of these kudos for, oh my God, they killed the character. They're so savage. Did you see that? They killed the main character. Oh my God, I'm so gutted. And then 2 pages later, the character's back to life again. You didn't actually kill the character. You had the character take a very still nap, right? So it would be interesting to explore that in the guise of, here's your main character. He or she or they can die. If they die, they come back. And A and I actually have one series we pitched to CBS at one point. They didn't pick it up, but the pitch was, I believe it was called the 7 or 9 or something like that.
10th Power?
No, the 11th Power.
Yeah.
And the pitch of this is that we have a kind of a investigator cop type character, and he is killed in the line of duty as he's investigating this thing. And the second he's killed, he wakes up somewhere else and he's whole again. I won't give you all the details because this is a novel I might write at some point. But the gist of it is, as he gets hurt or killed, like a video game, he sort of gets to reboot. But there's only so many lives till the game is over.
Yeah, Nelson, the Old Guard is a great example of this weird but sort of makes sense world.
The Old Guard though, like you kill him and that same person comes back to life. There's a lot of storytelling possibilities that can be done with, okay, so say your current iteration loses an arm and is all bleeding out. And the thing I want to get to in the narrative is get to a point where a character, and The Prestige was one that really influenced this story, which is get to a point where the character's like, I have this information. There's no way out of here. If they capture me, I'll be imprisoned and this information will die with me. The only way to move things forward is for me, the character, to die or to kill myself so that I then get rebirth and one less life back at whatever the home front is. And I think there could be some really, really gripping storytelling in watching a character have to decide how they are going to deal with their injuries and the situation they're in. Because if you get caught and put away, story's over. But if you die, you kind of escape through death. But there's only so many times you can do that. So that's something that we've worked on. But of course, I guess if people kept killing me, I'd get pretty mad.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Apropos of absolutely nothing other than that I love him, I would like to say that Phil Plate is in the chat room.
Phil Plate in the chat room!
Yeah.
The Bad Astronomer won!
We have been having a convo this afternoon, so he's like, wait a minute, I just saw you on my phone. He's a brilliant, brilliant astronomer. If you do not yet follow the Bad Astronomy blog, if you do not yet follow the Bad Astronomer, you should do that. He's named so not because he's a terrible astronomer, but because he points out bad astronomy and pop culture things, and he's entertaining and brilliant and wonderful, and you should follow him.
Daryl Jumanji, yeah. Jumanji's a very lighthearted approach to that, but absolutely Jumanji's an example. Do you know why they call him the Bad Astronomer?
I do. I just told you.
No, there's a secret.
Well,
there's a secret.
I will say before he tells this secret that Phil and Scott had a, what was that called? Space camp?
Yeah.
Phil was an instructor at something called Space Camp, which teaches writers how
Launchpad.
to... Launchpad.
I remembered something.
Yeah. And Launchpad is actually, is it NASA?
Yeah, NASA sponsored with astrophysicists and smart people teaching writers how to do stuff.
So I know why he's called the bad astronomer, but I needed to give you that so that Scott could tell you why he's called the bad astronomer, because it may not be
everybody knows this, because when Phil has to tell a heartfelt story, when you tell a heartfelt story, sometimes you do like this. Phil always goes, hee hee, and then that's why they call him bad astronomer.
No, he's not bad.
It's true.
He's not bad
it's
like
true.
Michael Jackson.
He's bad. He's bad. Hee hee.
No, I actually have a great story about this, and I'm going to tell it because Phil can't. Phil, one of the things he did, Phil, tell me, it's Armageddon, isn't it? It's Armageddon, right?
Yes.
So he says that the hard thing about Armageddon is, the Titanic. It's Titanic. Titanic has a sky scene, which is absolutely... No. I'm so wrong. It is Armageddon. He talked about, okay. We're going to have Phil on. I'm just not going to tell the story. Phil is going to tell the story himself because I'm going to get it wrong 1,000 times. But if you haven't followed badastronomy.com, go there, follow this. You will love it.
It's great.
And you will learn
It's very funny. There's a lot of science.
Oh, was it? Damn, wasn't Neil deGrasse Tyson? Oh, I suck as a friend.
Okay. All right. Now, so that is my answer to the lovely Scott Pond's question. Baby, do we have any other questions?
We do. We have another question from Sean Dyer, who is in the chat room. He asks if we'll ever see the Creterakian homeworld, and if not, what is it like?
Creterakian homeworld. I cannot say at this time, I can neither confirm nor deny, Senator, that it depends on what is means. We're probably not going to see it as far as anyone landing on it, because it is sorry, baby girl, there you go. There you go, shoulders all messed up. It is the forest primeval, if you will, with the Creterakians, aside from the fact that they speak English for the purposes of storytelling, so we don't have to come up with a whole Klingon language, etc. And then the Klingons just speak English anyway, so what's the point? Why bother? It's an absolutely brutal, savage world. And what is going to come into play in books 7 and 8 is their very different outlook on life. There's two sentient species in the GFL that have a completely different perspective on death and life. And those are the Sklorno, who actively participate in cannibalism because it's a great solution. Well, we have too many individuals and we can't feed them all. If we eat some of the individuals, then not only is everybody fed, but now we've reached a nice equilibrium in food production, and that is normal to them. One of the things I explore a lot in the GFL is what happens when multiculturalism goes like way off the charts, and there's another species doing stuff that is absolutely normal to them and even wholesome, and we look at it and be like, that is absolute barbarism. When we explore, when we reach out, go out to the stars and meet other cultures, they're going to do some weird shit. And they're going to be looking at our shit and be like, you humans do some weird crap. What do you do at that point? When you're trying to impose what you believe is rights of individuals, right to life, etc., on a culture where that is a completely alien concept. And the Sklorno don't really, they solve overpopulation with cannibalism. The Creterakians are very different because the Creterakian life cycle, they live to about 5 or 6 years old, and they operate in a flock mentality. So an individual Creterakian isn't necessarily that significant of an entity, but a flock of 15 to 20 to 30 Creterakians, where as the older ones die off, other ones come in. That flock is more of the individual as far as the decision maker and the sentient creature. So you're going to see a lot more of that in 7 and 8. Is that right? Yeah. You're going to see a lot more of that in 7 and 8. None of that in 6, but 7 and 8 it gets.
But we also have some history with the Creterakian warships where they arrive at a battleground and their warships are just jam-packed full because they're these, I don't mean to say disposable, but their culture
they're very disposable,
right, but that's not how it seems in their culture. Their whole life is so much shorter, their lifespan is so much shorter and all that they show up at a battle ready to do battle with a million Credorockians or whatever.
In a way, they're kind of a compartmentalized, perfect communistic entity, right? Because if there's 300 Credorockians in a flock and they get into another ship, if 150 of those, 200 of those die, that the individuals don't matter. It's the whole flock together that actually matters. So, yes.
Rob Otto suggests that you get the flock out of here. I'm so easily pleased. Just so easily pleased.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are our questions. You may now fire questions into the chat room. We only have one more thing to talk about.
And you can always, 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 always send info, questions, concerns about your orders, suggestions for charities, Siglebrations to info@emptyset.
We have this is the last time you'll see this. Still the midterms, I'm sure. Ladies and gentlemen, vote.org. If you have not mailed your ballot yet, do not mail your ballot. It's too late. You fucked up. You need to now drop that thing off at an actual ballot drop-off location, a real one, not a fake one that people decide to put up because they don't like the way the electoral system works, or you're going to have to go stand in line and vote. So we recommend you use vote.org. It will give you all the information to locate your local polling place, find early voting locations, locate a drop box, very important, get your ballot information, et cetera, et cetera. It's too late to check your registration. It's too late to register to vote unless you can register on site. It's too late to vote by mail. If you want your vote to count, you're going to have to go stand in line, which is cool, and you can figure out where to do that at vote.org.
And if you're like Shaquille O'Neal and you could have voted all this time, but you never did before, and this is your first year, if you go to a polling place and you're not sure if you're registered, bring at least 2 forms of governmental ID, a passport, driver's license, a state ID, anything like that, and also proof of residency, which could be an electric bill or anything like that. If you bring that directly to the polling place and the polling place allows on-site voter registration, that will be what you need. I will also say this. I learned this week, if you're a compromised person, if you have a disability, if you have an illness, if you have an injury, and you go to a early polling place, there may be an opportunity for them to help you with accessibility. There are portable voting machines that they can bring to you in your car, that they can bring to you in a secure location. If you're, say, immunocompromised and you can't stand in a big crowd, they can bring it to you. So even if you have that, if you have an ability to get to the polls or you have somebody who will take you to the polls, certainly check on that.
This is a dumb question. Gordon Barker, is that Gordy?
Nope.
No, it's a different person. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, people are bringing up Shizzle from the GFL, the interpreter for the Kraken's team. The Credorockians who function as individuals live longer than the Credorockians who are part of said flock. Quentin is often pointing out that you have civilian Credorockians and military Credorockians. So I don't know if they're in the middle of a speciation or something like that, but they are very different. And Gordon Barker asks, wait, when did we get to 8? Gordon Barker, right now the GFL will finish with book 8. Book 6 is the one that is coming out. Yes, darling.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think this may be the gentleman. No, that's Gordon Henry. Sorry.
Okay.
Never mind.
Let's see. Steve Rickenberg asks, what is my favorite new voice for the GFL 6 audiobook? Gosh, it's got to be Beans, do you think? Or what do you think? No, you like Zan.
I like Zan the best, and I'm thinking, which we can't really talk too much about, but I think the iceberg is also favoring Zan the most because Zan.
Oh, it is Gordy. Yes. Hey, Gordy.
Yeah, it's Gordy. Sorry, Gordy. You know, I made that big mistake years ago, and I never want to make it again, so I always double check just in case. But I knew that I might have been making a mistake again.
David Lamb says, in Michigan, you can register and vote on the same day. That's fantastic.
And Jennifer Sherwood says curbside voting. That was what it was called in Texas, apparently. Curbside voting was very beneficial to her family. You may have to show up personally to ask for that, but it might be worth it.
Yes. Do we have any other questions?
Your favorite?
My favorite. I don't like any of them right now because it's a bit traumatic is too strong of a word by far. Again, no one's shooting at me. I'm not in fire, but I'm sitting in that booth having play all of these different audio clips that I've cut out from different actors and comedians, and trying to keep everything straight. It takes a while. And you kind of only get all the characters locked in literally in the last 10% of the book. But I think the one I enjoy listening to the most is Zan. Zan's
okay, cool. Me
character
too.
Q, the button, the Q up. I like listening to her the most.
So I will ask you this also: what is your of the folks that people already know, what's your favorite?
Oh, John Tweedy. No question.
John Tweedy is absolutely my favorite. Absolutely my favorite character. I think John Tweedy will outlast everything else you've ever done, right? Just because of his like great heart and his kind of weird connections in the head with all the little colloquialisms and stuff. I think that's going to outlast all of us. But my absolute favorite is Denver.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah.
Sarah Cabello asked a question. She says she loves the GFL series, but can I ask a question about a different book you wrote with a bunch of backgrounds of people getting on the ship. Some of them were like kind of punished by being sent. I think she's talking about Alive.
No, she's without question talking about the Crypt.
Oh, the Crypt.
And we have lots to say, Sarah.
Sarah, the Crypt is a podcast I did many years ago, and we still have book 1 up, I think. I don't even know. But now that we're done with GFL book 6, I'm probably going to make a pass at GFL book 7 because I already have the first draft done. And GFL book 6, the Stone Wolves, and GFL book 7 are all kind of the same. They all interweave with each other, even though each is its own unique, individual, complete story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Next, we get into the Crypt. So we are taking a lot of what you guys heard with the Crypt Book 1, and that is getting rewritten and reordered to make it more novel-y. So we're going to have a Crypt Book 1 and a Crypt Book 2. We are in the process of pitching this whole thing to a particular publisher, which we can't talk about now, but maybe we can talk about later. But the Crypt is the next thing I will be working on is the Crypt, and you ain't seen nothing yet, sister. There's a lot of really awful people. One of the big dings I get when I get slammed on Goodreads reviews and Amazon reviews is like people like, I didn't like a single person. There was not one good person in all the characters in this book. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of exactly the point. That these are not good people.
Unfortunately, like, they've had years to wait on it too. So it would be one thing. So we are revamping all of that, and after he does whatever he does with GFL 7, like he said, there's a first draft of it. He's been working in the GFL now for, what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's nonstop. And it is, it behooves every reader and every listener.
Yeah, it's coming, Phil. It's coming.
Yeah, for him to take a break and get out of that headspace. So he comes back with different information and goes back to the same character. So he's probably going to do a short read through of the first draft of GFL 7 and then probably move on to the Crypt.
Yes. Sean Dyer, I feel like I've had this conversation many times. I'm sorry, that's a casual news drop about GFL 7, but that is absolutely coming. Shannon Chevrolet asked if my next book is going to be slammed by a billionaire triceratops.
No, that's a Chuck Tingle
That's
novel.
a Chuck Tingle novel. I am not treading on Chuck Tingle's territory. Chuck Tingle is a brilliant marketer. Danny Lundy, there will be some Danny Lundy in GFL Book 6. I'll give you that as a teaser. What else we got going? We got 2 more minutes left. Did I miss any questions in your sugar?
No, but I will remind you of 2 things before we move on. If you have 3 things, if you have anything you would like us to share here, especially things with a photo, send them to info@emptyset.com. We would love to do that. These are our favorite sorts of episodes because it's so interactive. If you have any questions, do that. I will also remind you guys that today, he said, no Tuesday SIGLERinPLACE. There's no Tuesday SIGLERinPLACE. You guys are going to have to suffer along with the rest of us.
So we will be back. Let's see here. We'll be back a week from today, Thursday, November 5th, which is Guy Fawkes Day.
It is. Well, it's Guy Fawkes Day. It's also National Redhead Day.
Okay, good. Well, we should be celebrating that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to do that. We'll be back then. Send any questions that you have in the interim. And in the other than that, I think all we need to do is give them the rules.
Yeah, let's go over the rules. What are the rules, babe? The rules are...
The first one is we want you and need you to stay science.
Shannon, I'm talking with my hands. We want you to stay smart.
We want you to stay safe.
And for the love of staying...
I mixed it up.
How many times? It's you and me both. How many times we screw this up? It's
a lot of times.
It's written down. Not only is it written down, we try and rehearse it before every show, and we still screw it. We want the outro to be all Johnny Carson. We'll be back tomorrow night with Uri Geller and
here I'm going to do it for you. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
We want you to stay safe, stay smart, stay science. You go.
And for the.
Try and touch your nose again. No.
For the love of science, we want you to listen to people who have studied stuff for their whole gosh darn lives long, who actually have knowledge on things. Don't listen to the politicians. Listen to the scientists, damn it, because they're the people who will save you and stop you from putting your jalapeno-covered fingers into your own goddamn eyes.
And we love you. We don't want you to have to suffer how I suffered.
She suffers for you so you people don't have to suffer yourselves. It's terrible what's going on.
We'll see you Thursday. We'd love to hear from you before then.
Get out and vote, dogs! And